Hello, BookTube. I'm Peg, the book prize addict, and welcome back to the third in my series of the just published long lists for the 5 categories that the National Book Award is putting out this week. And the one I'm doing today is poetry. It just came out this morning. Now, I almost didn't do poetry because I can't say I dislike poetry, but I have a hard time with poetry, which I think maybe a lot of other readers do. But so I almost didn't do it. But the reason I'm doing this more than anything is so I can learn. It makes me learn to see each one and be able to talk about each one. And I wanted to do that, and I'm so glad I did. I've really learned already just from reading about the 10 books on the poetry long list, and I think I may even want to try a few. So anyway, before I get going on that, even if you don't stay tuned for the rest of poetry, be sure to tune in again. I'm going to put a nonfiction list comes out today, 2:30 Eastern U.S. time, and I'm going to do a joint tandem presentation, you might say, with Steve Donahue. And I'll come on first and just kind of describe and introduce the books, nonfiction books that are on the list. And then the famous Steve, especially in nonfiction category, will come on and make his own video and tell us what he really thinks of the list and the books that are on it. So I'm really looking forward to that. And that'll be fun. Okay, let's get started on the 10 on the poetry list. Okay, first we have a book called Wobble by Ray Armantrout, who is a Pulitzer Prize former winner. This deals, you can see it's kind of a decrepit part of a building and bicycles and anyway, it deals with the shifting ground of daily reality and the fact that we might be headed for a systemic collapse. I guess this is a picture of the collapse, and the feeling that the American dream has become a nightmare. Okay, next we have, can hardly, anyway, I'll put it that way. You can. This is by Josh Charles, called Field. I'll tell you about the word, how it's spelled, in just a minute here. This is a trans poet who goes by the pronoun she, and she uses language that is available to talk about the trans experience, and it's the language actually of Chaucer. I guess they call that Middle English. And she uses this language to make the old new again, and it has quite a revolutionary effect, the write-up says. Okay, next we have a more modern-looking cover called Be With by Forrest Gander. This is a long multilingual poem talking about the cultural history of the U.S. and Mexico border. It also has a section that deals with his mother's death from Alzheimer's, and he is termed a formally restless poet. I guess by formally it means the form he writes in is restless, like experimental, I would think that would mean. Okay. What do we have next? Oh, I love this one. I love the picture on this one. It's not very clear on here. Anyway, okay, this is, I don't know why that's so, anyway, it's called American Sonnets for My Past and Future Assassin. And this is one I think I really would like to read, besides liking the cover. It is 70 sonnets, all by the same name, that were written during the first 200 days of the Trump presidency. It deals in a haunting manner with past and future errors, and dreams and nightmares. It's termed hilarious, melancholy, and bewildering. Okay, next we have Museum of the Americas by Michael Martinez. And this one I think might be difficult to understand. I had a difficult time understanding the write-up on it. But anyway, I'll try. It has in it some artwork of Mexican paintings and postcards, and it deals with the persecuted ethnic body. So I guess it deals with ethnicity, etc. Again, I would be glad for somebody to, if you know, to explain to me in the comments really what this one's about. Okay, next we have Ghost of, and this is a song of mourning, as in M-O-U-R-N, mourn, reaching across time, space, distance, and to reach loved ones and ancestors. This, I think, this is a Vietnamese American poet, so probably the ancestors must be from Vietnam. Anyway, and she uses photographs in it throughout it that her brother took before he died, or had, where he cuts out the pictures of himself in it. So that sounds a little bit intriguing. Okay, next we have Indecency. I don't know what that is on the cover. It looks like something you'd find smashed on the sidewalk somewhere. Anyway, maybe that goes along with the term. This is said that the style is perfectly ragged. It uses experimental language to explore inequity, injustice, and white supremacy. Okay, next we have the Tertiary by Raquel Salas Rivera. This is a trans poet that prefers to go by the pronoun they, from Puerto Rico, and it deals with the decolonial queer critique and reconsideration of Marxism. That one sounds kind of difficult too, but I'm sure I'd learn a lot if I decide to read it, or maybe reading about it would be better. Okay, we have here Monument, Poems New and Selected. The author, Natasha Trethewey, has had 2 terms of being the U.S. Poet Laureate and has won a Pulitzer Prize. She writes here stories of African women, the black troops in the Civil War, white supremacy, and Gulf Coast victims of Katrina. The fact of the hurricane Katrina brings up the fact that we're now wondering what the hurricane that's upon us is going to do, actually. It may affect the East Coast here. We'll see. Okay, on with the last one. Yeah, is eye level. I have no idea what that's a picture of. I don't know if it's a fruit that's cut into. I really probably need to get the book so I can see this one. Anyway, this is by Jenny Z. It's an award-winning debut. I guess it's already won some awards, and it deals with interquestioning of the forces that more the self to the world. That's what it said. Okay. Also deals with immigration, travel, losses, and departure, and goes into different cities all over the world: Hanoi, New York, Corfu. So actually, all these sound interesting to me. I don't know how much poetry costs this year. I haven't looked it up yet, but I would hope my library might have some of them. I would really like to try them and So let me know if there are any of you out there that like poetry or know anything about any of these or plan to learn about poetry. And stay tuned for this afternoon's Peg and Steve team video on nonfiction. Okay, bye.